So really quickly, I'm going to go over how to do the map key. So at the end of this project, you're going to be turning in your purchase order, your poster paper on the grid paper, and then this map key. And this is just the final thing that you have to do. This will be the very last thing. And so I wanted to explain it so that hopefully you guys understand how to do it while I'm gone. So there's 10 boxes. And so there's one for every shape that you did. So the first 8 are for your rectangles, and the last 2 are for your marine animals, which were circles. Okay. And so the point of this is that you need to figure out the actual area and the actual perimeter of your shapes. Okay. And so that's what it would be like in real life, because remember, on the paper, it might be 5 squares, but in real life, you would multiply by 625 because each box is 625 square feet. So we want to find the actual area and actual perimeter of all 10 of our enclosures. So if I look at my purchase order, and so I did an example for the gorilla, I bought 6 of them, I got the total cost, the space required, and so forth. So the main thing that I'm looking at for this is the length and width of space. Okay. So it tells me that, or I picked 12 and 8 for my length and width. So on my key, it's for the gorilla, and it's a 12 by 8. So I'm going to put a G for gorilla. You can also, if you colored it blue on your paper, you could make this blue so that that it's easier for me to find it. It doesn't matter to me. But so the length was 12 and the width was 8. Now I can switch those. I could have put 8 as the length and 12 as the width. It doesn't matter. But on my paper, it's 12 units and 8 units. Okay. So to find my actual area and actual perimeter, I need to multiply both of those by 25. Because the length of the square is actually 25. Because remember, the square feet of the area of one box is 625. So I need to multiply both of those by 25. And so I would do 12 times 25, and I would get 300. And then for the width, I would do 8 times 25, and that would be 200. So that means in real life, the length of the enclosure would be 300 feet, and the width would be 200 feet. So now, to find my actual area, remember, to find area, you do length times width of a rectangle. So we would do 300 times 200. You're going to get some pretty big numbers, so I don't expect you to actually multiply those. You can use your calculator. But you all know 3 times 2 is 6. And then you just add those zeros. So we have 4 zeros, so I'd add 4. And so my actual area would be 60,000 feet squared. So then for the perimeter, you add all 4 sides. So we'd get 300 plus 200 plus 300 plus 200. Okay, 300 plus 200 is 500. So we get 500 plus 500, which is 1,000. And this would just be feet. And so my actual perimeter would be 1,000 feet. Okay. So hopefully that helps. If you were doing the radius, okay, when you're doing a circle, so your radius, let's say a lot of you got like 3, 4, 5, or 6. So let's do the radius is 4 units. Actually, I'm going to do 8 because I don't think any of you had 8. I don't want you copying me. So the radius is 8 units. So remember, for a circle to find, we would still multiply that by 25. And so 8 times 25 is 200. And so in real life, the radius would be 200 feet. And that's the number we're going to use to find the area and their circumference. So for the actual area, our formula for the area of a circle is A equals pi r squared. And our circumference would be C equals 2 times pi times r. And then you're just going to plug the 200 feet into those formulas. So we're going to have the radius is 200. The radius is 200. And then the area, so we plug that in. So we get A equals 3.14. Our radius is 200. And we do squared. And then we put that in our calculator. So 3.14 times 200 squared. And we would get 125,600 feet squared. And then for our circumference, we do the same thing. So it's going to be C equals 2 times 3.14 times our radius, which is 200. And I'm going to plug those in. So 2 times 3.14 times 200. And I would get 1,256 feet. And that would be my answer. Okay, so that's how you do those. And then I would put like whatever the label. If I did an orca whale, I'd put OW, or if I wanted to do the color, you could do whatever. But so like I said, this will be the last thing you do, and you'll turn in your purchase order, the poster paper, and then this key showing that you know how to find the actual area and actual perimeter. As always, email me if you have questions.